definitely an exciting time and a lot of skill around the Rangers.
But he's shifty, he's smart, he's elusive, he's got solid size, but he's a pro.
And definitely thinking about playing with them in the future, and the skill they have, it's exciting. So just trying to be a piece of that future going forward is definitely exciting.
The next step in my development was to go pro, and I felt the Rangers presented a good opportunity for me to make that jump.
Big things ahead hopefully, so it's an exciting time to be a Ranger fan for sure.
Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Adam Fox and why 17 defensemen were drafted before him in the 2016 NHL Draft. Now, it's legitimately weird to think that 65 players and 17 defensemen were taken before Adam Fox in the 2016 NHL Draft. Fox solidifying himself as one of the strongest young players in the entire league this year, 70 games played and 42 points, putting up great production and being super solid defensively on a team that needs all the defense they can get in the New York Rangers. For Adam Fox, solidifying himself as a potential top 3 Calder candidate and one of the strongest young players defensively in the entire National Hockey League. But the question does become, why was Adam Fox passed up so much in 2016, and where are the other 17 defensemen who were taken before him right now in 2020? Watch till the end for all the picks and the info, and of course hit that subscribe button if you're new. Now, Adam Fox's story to being drafted in 2016 by Calgary and ultimately becoming a Ranger is super fascinating. Now, Adam Fox grew up in Long Island, but still became a Rangers fan because his dad was a Rangers fan. Growing up, though, he did idolize Nicholas Lidstrom, and that's why he was a defenseman throughout a lot of his childhood years. But back in 2016, in his draft year, he actually had a very great season for USA and in the World Juniors, too. In the USDP, he played 64 games, got 59 points. Against USHL competition, got 22 points in 25 games. And in the U18 World Juniors for the US, got 9 points in 7 games, being named the U18 Defenseman of the tournament. But even with all those accolades and playing so well in his draft year, he ended up being slipped on. He got pretty much shafted and was drafted 66 overall in the 3rd round, and the Calgary Flames were the one team to take that chance on it. Now, back in 2016, there were still the concerns of size and speed, but over the next 3 seasons, Fox would do a pretty good job of correcting those mistakes. Now, in his first season, miraculously, he got 40 points in 35 NCAA games. Absolutely insane. Then would get 28 in 29 games, and then in his last season would get 48 points in 33 games, only losing out the Hobie Baker Award to none other than Cale Makar. This season, it is obvious that his two-way game has improved even more, and that he is a future top 2 defenseman. Even right now, he is that guy for the New York Rangers. But there are 17 other defensemen that were taken before him in 2016. Some turned out very well, some did not. And that is what we're going to be looking at in today's video. The players and the defensemen specifically that were taken before Adam Fox. And now for our first defenseman taken before Adam Fox in the 2016 NHL Draft, 63rd overall by the Edmonton Oilers, they selected Markus Niemelainen. Now, Niemelainen is a 6'6", 21-year-old Finnish defenseman that has not made much progress since his draft year. He got 27 points in the OHL in his draft year, not bad whatsoever for a defenseman, but didn't make too much huge progress after that. Now at age 21 is still a decent guy, but has only gotten 7 points in 55 league games, and at this point isn't looking like an NHL option for Edmonton, still being unsigned to this day. But now going on to the second defenseman taken before Adam Fox in the 2016 draft, the Detroit Red Wings 53rd overall selected Philip Roenick. Now, Roenick actually turned out very good compared to some of the other players drafted in this list, and at 53rd overall is looking like a very good pick. Now, at age 22, Roenick back in 2016 at age 18, ended up playing 40 games in the main Czech League. Since then has been making some big progress. This year for Detroit had a pretty great year, getting 31 points in 65 games on a pretty bad Detroit team. And now going on to the third defenseman taken before Adam Fox, and just a couple of picks before Philip Roenick, the LA Kings 51st overall selected Kale Clague. Now, Kale Clague is one of the more raw players on this list. He still has a lot of potential for LA. Played 4 NHL games this year and has gotten over 25 points in the AHL the past couple of seasons. Clague is a guy that, again, is more on the younger side of that draft, being a June birth date. And even though Adam Fox is definitely better, Kale Clague's still a guy who can become potentially a top 4 defenseman at NHL level and could be LA's best defenseman prospect, especially right now. But now going on to the 4th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, and actually the first of 2 defensemen ahead of Fox that ended up on the Rangers, both of which weren't even drafted by New York in the first place. But at 49th overall, the Boston Bruins selected Ryan Lundgren. Now, Lundgren was a Boston pick, but ended up being traded in the Rick Nash deal. Since then, has been pretty valuable for New York. At age 22, has 14 points in 60 games, which for his age as defenseman, even though he isn't Adam Fox, I'll definitely take that. But now moving on to the 5th defenseman taken before Adam Fox. This one actually turned out pretty good. At the 47th overall pick, the Nashville Predators selected Samuel Gerard. Now, this, just like some other players on this list, have moved quite a bit. With Sam Gerard, he was traded by the Nashville Predators to the Colorado Avalanche, and since then has been a pretty good part of that team. Got 37 points in 70 games recently, and again, I don't think he's up to the level of Adam Fox quite yet, but the kid's still pretty good. But now going into the 6th, count them, 6 defensemen taken before Adam Fox in 2016, the Chicago Blackhawks selected 45th overall, Chad Chris. Now, Chris is still one of the developing defensemen on this list that still has potential, but kind of had a weak year. 8 points in 41 AHL games. Before that, had 2 straight seasons of 20-plus points in the NCAA with BU, and had 4 points in 9 AHL games last year. I thought he was going to translate that this year, but the offense wasn't up to that kind of level. Still, I think Chris can be an NHL defenseman, but certainly no Adam Fox. And now going on to the 7th defenseman taken before Adam Fox in 2016, the Tampa Bay Lightning selected 37th overall, Libor Hajek. Now, just like Ryan Lundgren, Hajek ended up on the New York Rangers, but both him and Hajek were taken before Adam Fox, and even though Hajek is still pretty solid, Ryan Lundgren very solid, they are no Adam Fox. Now, Hajek ended up playing 28 NHL games, getting 5 assists for 5 points. He is still a developing prospect in my opinion. I'm not sure if he's completely NHL ready, but given some time, I think he will be a part of that team, just like Ryan Lundgren and just like Adam Fox. And now going to the 8th defenseman taken before Adam Fox. At the 34th pick of the 2016 NHL draft, the Columbus Blue Jackets selected Andrew Pecky. Now, Pecky has still a strong NHL future, and at age 22 isn't obviously Adam Fox, but I still think can become a solid NHL D-man. Now, this year for Columbus, played 22 games, got 3 points, didn't get the most ice time in the world, but ended up playing 29 AHL games, getting 16 points. Not bad whatsoever, and for a 22-year-old defenseman, again, still a developing guy. I don't think he's going to be up to Adam Fox's level, but for Columbus, could be a top 6 defenseman at the very least. And now on to the 9th defenseman taken before Adam Fox. The Washington Capitals, with their first-round pick, selected Lucas Johansson. Now, at one point in time, Johansson was looking like one of the stronger young defensemen to be in the prospect world. Back in 2018, he got 27 points in 74 AHL games. And this year, for the Hershey Bears, played 9 games altogether, getting 2 assists for 2 points. Right now, I'm not sure where his career lands right now. He might be an NHL defenseman, but right now is too early to call. And now coming into the 10th defenseman that was taken before Adam Fox, with the 20th overall pick, the Detroit Red Wings selected Dennis Cholowski. Now, Cholowski is one of the more unique prospects and players on this list, but last year in the 2019 season in the NHL, got 16 points in 52 games. I personally thought he had a pretty strong future for Detroit, being a top 4, maybe even potentially a top 2 defenseman, but he is now 22 years old. He hasn't made a ton of progress at the NHL level. The defense is still lacking, and although offensively I think he can be a very solid defenseman, it seems like the potential he once had might not be there anymore. So we have 7 defensemen to go of the players and defensemen that were drafted before Adam Fox, and there's 2 more that have not played any NHL games, and the next one, who was drafted 18th overall, that being Logan Stanley. Now, back in 2016, being drafted by Winnipeg, he was looked at as a supreme defensively minded defenseman. And the defense, I think, is there, but the progress into the NHL type of player just has not been there yet. Now, going on to the pick just right before Logan Stanley, the 17th overall pick, and the 12th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, the Nashville Predators selected Dante Fabbro. Now, Fabbro played in the BCHL in his draft year and has worked his way up from the NCAA now to the NHL level, playing 64 games in Nashville this year, getting 11 points. Next year, he should get a lot more dependability, a lot more responsibility, and a lot more playing time. And I think it's just an inevitability at this point that he does become a top 4 D-man for Nashville. Now, speaking of top 4 defensemen, and that might even be an insult for the next player, 16th overall, the 13th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, the Arizona Coyotes selected Jakob Chitra. Now, Chitra is one of the solid young defensemen on this list that is very good right now. This year for Arizona, got 26 points in 63 games, and just continually getting better and better in my opinion. Especially when it comes to the defensive game, Chitra is a huge part of that Arizona team. Now, Adam Fox, I think, might be even better right now, but Chitra is one of Arizona's best defensemen, and in terms of young Canadian defensemen, is one of the better ones out there. Now, just a couple of picks before Jakob Chitra, for the 13th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, the Boston Bruins selected Charlie McAvoy. Now, Charlie McAvoy is one of the few defensemen on this list that I think is better than Adam Fox right now, but Adam Fox has made some pretty good ground. Now, McAvoy this year has gotten 32 points in 67 games, but it's not all production when it comes to him. He had a much better defensive year this year, I think, in my opinion, made some excellent strides, and offensively had a huge impact for Boston. Now, I think I said the 13th defenseman last time. Anyways, we're on to the 15th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, and just the pick before Charlie McAvoy, the Carolina Hurricanes ended up selecting Jake Bean. Now, first and foremost, legendary name. Absolutely mad. I love it. He's a beast just because of that. But Jake Bean is one of the more raw, again, potential-wise defensemen in this draft. Not a bust necessarily, but not looking like the greatest pick whatsoever. Now, this year in the AHL, got 48 points in 59 games, and at age 21, those are super impressive stats. The offense is what Jake Bean specializes in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow finds himself on another team because Carolina is stacked defensively, if you haven't noticed already. And now getting into the 16th defenseman taken before Adam Fox, now going to one of the top prospects drafted in the 2016 draft, that being Mikhail Sergachev of the Montreal Canadiens. Obviously being involved in the Jonathan Drouin deal and coming to Tampa, had a super strong 2018 season, 40 points in 79 games. This year getting 34 points in 70 games, and overall having a fantastic year. Now, as a guy who likes Tampa, Sergachev was great in 2018, but this year is where he really took some big steps up in both areas of the ice. Offensively was a beast, and defensively was a lot better too. And now getting into the 17th defenseman, the first defenseman taken in the 2016 NHL draft. The Vancouver Canucks 5th overall selected Olli Juolevi. Now, Olli Juolevi is considered to be one of the bigger busts over the last few years, but still has potential to be possibly a top 4 defenseman still. Last year, with the Utica Comets of the AHL, got 25 points in 45 games. Not bad at all. And although Juolevi is totally not going to live up to the potential he once had, he is still a very solid young defenseman that I wouldn't be surprised maybe cracks Vancouver's defense next year. Although he isn't Adam Fox, he isn't Mikhail Sergachev, he is not a Charlie McAvoy, he is still a solid defenseman, but let's be real here. 5th overall? Come on, Vancouver. And obviously with hindsight, we can tell that Adam Fox being drafted 66th overall was an absolute steal, but the reasons he was drafted so low in the first place was because of his size, which wasn't even all that bad at 5'11", and his strength, which did need some improvement, but Adam Fox improved that in the NCAA. Listened to his coaches in Harvard, listened to his coaches at the NHL level, and improved on himself. Although Adam Fox, I'm not sure, would go top 5 in a redraft, he certainly would be one of the top prospects. He's one of the best young defensemen out there, and for New York, might already be one of their best defensemen, and all around, might already be the #1 defensive option for them. But that'll be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, all y'all. If you're just stopping by, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down all your thoughts on Adam Fox, what you think about him in his draft year, and what do you think about the defensemen that were taken before him in 2016. Of course, share this video with your friends, get the picks out there, boys, and get the Adam Fox hype out there too. And also click on this card right here to watch all of my hockey prospect goodness right in one playlist. My name is Nathan, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.